Hi, welcome back to Wayfinder for video 3 of the pack series. Today I'm going to talk about packing your pack and the principles and considerations for where in your pack you should load your gear. The first thing to keep in mind, and the most important for your comfort when carrying the pack, is weight distribution. For the best weight distribution, you really want to keep the load as close to your center of gravity as possible. Sounds obvious, right? Okay, to do this you want to load heavier items in the bottom half of your pack and stowed against the frame where it is closest to your back. Weight that is further from your back will pull you backwards, and weight that is higher up in the pack affects your balance noticeably as you move side to side and forward and back. In both cases this is tiring and can be dangerous on uneven terrain. This means that when I'm packing my pack I want to load heavier items, water, food, maybe my tent, etc. lower down and as close to my back as possible. Heavy stuff low down and close to your body. Easy, right? Nothing is ever that simple. You also need to consider how livable your pack is. For instance, if you pack your food, at least your wet and fresh food low and against your back, but then you need to unpack your whole pack to get to your snacks. Or if you have your tent in the bottom of your pack under your clothes and it's raining when you make camp and that exposes your clothes to risk of getting wet, that's going to get frustrating fast. And wet clothes or sleeping gear could pose a safety risk if conditions turn bad. It's a balance. For your optimal comfort, you want to get your load sorted weight-wise, but for convenience, you need to have your quick access items where they're easy to get to. You also need to pack in a way that safety gear is easy to get to and so that you can get to your tent up without getting your precious sleeping bag drenched. As to what to take with you for multi-day hikes, I like to think of it in terms of 4 broad categories: shelter, water, food, safety gear, self-care and comfort items, and lastly, nice to haves. Okay, shelter, water, food covers all your big ticket requirements to live in the field day to day. These are tent, sleeping bag and mat, food, because you have food, toilet paper, water, cooking stove, pot and eating utensils, and clothing essentials. So what you're wearing, which is probably boots, pants or shorts, a top and a hat, and then a fleece jacket and rain shell for when you stop or if it gets cold. Safety gear means first aid kit, map, compass and GPS, water purification and other miscellaneous gear to suit the trip you're on. This could be more warm clothing such as puffers and thermals, if you're going to somewhere that's a bit colder. Also, as I like to go out there by myself, I generally carry a personal locating beacon in case I get bitten by a snake or have an injury that means I can't move. Now, self-care and comfort items are things like sunglasses, sunscreen, chapstick, insect repellent, toothbrush, wet wipes, spare socks and extra clothing, and a head torch. A head torch can almost qualify as safety gear, and I certainly wouldn't leave home without one, but you'll likely survive your trip without it. As for other self-care and comfort items, yep, you won't die without this stuff, but it sure does make your life better. Finally, nice to haves are a book to read, a notebook, a camera, things like that. Okay, now I'm going to go through actually packing my pack so you can see how I load my pack and also see some of the gear that I like to carry on multi-day hikes. So for this I'm going to be packing everything in to this pack here. This is a 70-litre pack. It's a fairly simple design, just being a single compartment pack with a storm flap and a single lid in the storm flap. Okay, first thing that goes in my pack is water. Next, now this kind of goes against the rules of weight distribution, but for convenience and living out of your pack, the next thing that I like to put in my pack is my sleeping bag. It'll compress nicely into the bottom of the pack. Then my tent, and I'll just place that in lengthways so I can get to it without having to rummage around too far into the depths of my pack. Food. And cooking stove, including all my eating utensils, and in here I've got stuff for starting a fire. Now I'm a little particular about this. I do like to push this down nice and low against the pack frame and to the side of the pack, so that if I want to make a cup of tea or heat a meal during the middle of the day without unpacking my whole pack, I can just reach down and know exactly where I need to find it. Toilet paper, yes, I have some. No, you can't buy it. Sleeping mat, never leave home without a sleeping mat. This is a fairly light item, so if I can, I'll place this towards the front of the pack. As you can see, the pack's starting to get a little full now. Next, in here is my first aid kit. I also have my personal locating beacon and water purification. I'm going to place this up near the top of the pack where I can get at it quickly and easily if I need to. Sitting on top of that will go my fleece jacket, now you'll note that I haven't packed any extra clothing or spare socks or anything like that in there. Normally they would go right in the bottom of the pack below the sleeping bag. Okay, now that I've got all of that in there, I'll do that up. I like to put my rain shell on the top here where I can get to it just by raising the storm flap, but without having to go into the depths of the pack. Okay. Now in the top pocket of the pack, just got my navigation gear, so some more of my safety gear, head torch, pocket knife, and this is probably where I put some of those self-care or comfort items like chapstick or sunscreen and things like that. So that's it, pack packed, ready to go. So in the bottom, clothes, and then sleeping bag. Yes, they're lightweight, but they're quite compressible. And the fact of the matter is you're generally not getting at that spare clothing or your sleeping bag unless you're in a comfortable situation and have got your tent up and you're ready to sort of live out of it. So first in, last out. Next thing, I like to put my tent in lengthways where I can get at it. Okay, then my food. So I'm getting my tent and my food low down, my stove, my cooking gear, eating utensils, fire making gear, also nice and low down. Of course, I place the water in first, so it's right against my back, and as low as I can get it in that ready-made pouch. Okay, coming up, sitting above all of that, then there goes in my first aid kit. Okay, where I can get it there nice and easily. A jumper, probably on top of that. Normally, I'd have a camera or something like that. Okay, closing up the main compartment of the pack. Rain shell sitting on top of there, where all I have to do is just undo these two clips, open the storm flap, and I can get at my rain shell if I need to. Inside the top pocket here, I've got those things that I really want to get to quickly and easily. So pocket knife, head torch, probably going to keep my lunch or snackies in there too. Some comfort items that I might want to get to during the day, so insect repellent or sunscreen, things like that, and probably a beanie as well. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you found this informative and useful. Stay tuned for the next episode. Whatever it is that you're into, I hope that you're looking forward to getting back into it when we get through this current situation. Thanks for listening and have a nice day.